My name is Lindolfo Dossantos. I am the charismatic pastor here at Eastside and pastor Eastside Brazilian Church. And I born in Brazil, on the south of Brazil in 1967. I did not grow up in a Christian home. And later on, when I was 7 years old, somebody invited my mom to go to a Baptist church. And my daddy was not Christian. We don't have Christian in our family. And my mama take us with her. And be a 7, 8 years old, I have a great encounter of God. And I felt God filling my heart. And I cried a lot in that day. And I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ. And later on, I was 9 to 10 years old. The pastor called name Leopoldo. He looked at me and he said, God laid down in my heart, you're gonna be a pastor. And that day, my heart broke in and got so happy. And I accept that as God asked me to serve him as pastor. And I fall in love with the ministry. And later on, my daddy, my mama, they broke the marriage. We moved to another city, and Lord started flame the calling on my life. When I was 14 years old, they have a baptismal in the city, and I anxious to be baptized. And 14 years old, I baptized, and I started serving the Lord. And within 17 years old, I was called to be a youth pastor. Serving as youth pastor, loving the Lord, I met my wonderful wife, Lindolfo Dossantos, and we married in that year. And later on, we have 2 daughters. And in 1991, they called me and asked me to serve as elder in the church. And they consecrate me on be elder on 1991. And I was appointed to be pastor assistant in one of the congregation in the city of Joinville. On 1993, they ordained me as pastor in the ministry of Assemblies of God ministry in Brazil and the state of Santa Catarina. And serving as pastor of some churches up there, serving on a mission board, I heard a good story about America, the way America invests in missionaries. Lord laid down in my heart a love for America. And in 1997, I started preaching around my state. And one day, Lord laid down in my heart to come to the United States. I thought was to visit the United States, but later on I discovered Lord was called me to come to the United States. Atos capítulo 20, versículo 22. E agora, eis que guiado pelo Espírito, vou a Jerusalém, não sabendo o que lá há de me acontecer, senão que o Espírito de cidade em cidade me revela que me esperam prisões e tribulações. Mas em nada tenho a minha vida por preciosa, contanto que cumpra com alegria a minha carreira e o ministério que recebi do Senhor Jesus, para dar testemunho do Evangelho da graça de Deus. This was the verse in my life. I knew when I come to the United States, we didn't know anything about this country, about the culture, about the language. And I have 2 daughters, 3 and 6 years old. And in 1998, I moved to this state, knowing Lord called me to preach the gospel. Lord called me to serve him in all capacity. Lord called me to bring the God news of the grace of Jesus Christ and salvation for all men. On November 1998, we arrived here, over there in New England. Me, my wife, and 6 years old and 3 years old daughter knew a lot of hardship waiting for us. We didn't know nothing about this country, but Lord set up our ministry, our path in this country. Moving to New Hampshire area, to Nashua City, and start serving the Lord, founded our first church. Later on, God just raised the church, and we start serving in the city hall and with police department. And over there, I start feeling my heart, I have a passion to be a chaplain. I didn't know nothing about chaplain in that time, in that years, but Lord just put me in the city hall working with police department, and Lord used us mightily in that city. We serve as community leader. We raise Brazilian flag in the front of City Hall. We bring a lot of people together. And then my friend who used to live here in this Marietta city invited me to come to Georgia. And one day when I came here, I fall in love with this state. And Lord later on lead me to move here. On 2002, I arrived here in Marietta. In 2003, we started church. I started church in Rossville. And then Lord so mightily used us in that city for 13 years. We found a church there, we growing the church, but we knew the place we were in Rossville have no many Brazilians. Most of the population of Brazil live here in Marietta. And then was in 2016, I met Eastside Baptist Church. I came here one day, I met Pastor John, and they so lovely, they so gracious, opened the arm to us, and our church moving to this location here at the studio center, low level. We start with 35, 40 people, and later on, we grew up 100 plus. We moved in 2018 to Olive Spring campus, and today we're serving over there. Lord is so blessing us. A lot of people come to Christ. We baptize so many people, and we are here to accomplish the goal God set up in our heart, calling to be a ministry, calling to pass those hardships, but always thinking the first thing, the more important thing is accomplish our calling to serve the Lord and all He's called us to do. Meu nome é Lindolfo Dossantos e esta é a minha história. My name is Lindolfo Dossantos. This is my story.